Good morning. Happy Sunday. Taking a live look outside right now over Lookout Mountain in Golden. Beautiful start to the day. Temperatures still a bit chilly out there, but that is expected to change with temperatures potentially climbing up into the upper 60s. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Evan Krugel in for Lauren Scafidi. Let's send things over to Weather Impact Team meteorologist Jaden Knowles. Jaden, we're talking potential record-breaking heat for this time of year.
Yeah, that's right, Evan. You know, that record is actually 67 degrees, which was set back in 2017. And what's forecasted today is 67 degrees. I mean, look how much sunshine already in Fort Collins. I mean, that's the reason we're not able to see a lot, because that sun is shining bright. Bob Marley said it the best: the sun is shining, and we're seeing that here in Denver as well. We're currently at 34 degrees here in downtown Denver, 37 at Centennial, 35 currently at the airport, and temperatures across the rest of the state, we're starting to see those temperatures already start to warm up. The upper 30s for the eastern plains, still hanging steady with the teens as well as the low 20s for the high country. There's that increase in cloud coverage. We're seeing that increase in cloud coverage along the I-25 corridor, especially over towards the western slope. I believe the mostly cloudy conditions will stay towards the west of us today. For the metro area, mix of sun and clouds and lots of sunshine for the eastern plains. Your forecast today, of course, warming up rather quickly, getting up to the upper 60s, as I mentioned. So if you plan on eating some ice cream, maybe to cool off, or you're heading over towards the high country, we're warm everywhere. We have 67 degrees forecast as a high for this afternoon. Overall, though, later on in the show, we'll talk more in details about that storm system that's coming that could give some much needed snow for the high country, as well as those windy conditions for us across the metro area later in the show. Evan?
Always strange to be talking about ice cream in February. Jaden, thank you. Two people were taken to the hospital overnight for a stabbing in Denver. Police say it happened around midnight near Colfax and Grant, right by the state capitol. Both people are expected to survive. Denver police are not saying anything about an arrest at this point, but we'll keep you updated as we learn more information. Denver police are also investigating a deadly shooting from yesterday morning near Alameda and Santa Fe. One person died. Another person had to be taken to the hospital. They've since been released. Police have not publicly identified a suspect, and at this point, they have not announced any arrests. We'll keep you updated as we learn more information on this. Over in Westminster, officers responded to a hit-and-run crash. It happened in the area of 72nd Avenue, just west of Sheridan Boulevard. They found a vehicle that appeared to have rolled off the south side of the road and into a field. A preliminary investigation shows two men were thrown from the car. They were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. A third man ran away when officers got there. Police did catch up with him, and he also went to the hospital. Police say alcohol may have been a factor in this crash. A Douglas County deputy has been fired after he was arrested last week on suspicion of DUI and assaulting a peace officer. Andrew Charles Sanders was arrested by Parker police last Saturday night on February 7th. Late Friday, the Douglas County Sheriff posted online that Sanders had been fired, calling the allegations, quote, disgraceful. Sanders has bonded out of jail. He'll be back in court on February 24th. We have new developments in the plane crash in Steamboat Springs on Friday. Authorities have identified 4 people who were killed. The Routt County Coroner's Office says the victims were 47-year-old Aaron Stokes, 21-year-old Jackson Stokes, 21-year-old Colin Stokes, and 37-year-old Austin Husky. According to WSMV4, that's our NBC affiliate in Nashville, Aaron Stokes was dad to Jackson and uncle to Colin. A preliminary report from the FAA says that crash happened near Emerald Mountain just after midnight. Flight tracker data shows the plane came from Nashville and stopped in Kansas City before heading on to Steamboat. Our sister station in Nashville also reports Aaron Stokes lived in Franklin, Tennessee, with his wife and 4 children. Well, the snow we did get this past week brought a boost in avalanche danger in the high country, even in a winter that's been overall fairly dry. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center has now upgraded much of the northern and central mountains to moderate or considerable avalanche danger. Forecasters say 14 to 18 inches of new snow in some areas has added weight to a weak, unstable base layer. That setup can lead to persistent slab avalanches, which can break above or around someone and can also be triggered from a distance. This weekend is traditionally a deadly one in Colorado, with 13 people killed in avalanches over President's Day weekend over the past decade.
And so historically, yeah, we have a lot of people moving around in the mountains this time of year, and that usually equals more accidents.
So far this season, no one has been killed in an avalanche in Colorado, but 32 people have been caught and 3 people have been injured. It's the kind of claim that's bound to get attention these days, whether it's true or not. A Republican running for governor says there are pedophile rings at the state capitol involving elected officials. There's just one issue. So far, State Representative Scott Bottoms of Colorado Springs has been unwilling or unable to offer any evidence of his claim. And state leaders worry he's putting lives in danger. Here's
Pedophilia runs through our House, our Senate, and our governor's office.
Republican State Rep Scott Bottoms made that claim without offering evidence.
We know who the people are.
As he campaigned for governor last weekend.
I've been working with the FBI for 3 years now. FBI outside the state of Colorado, because I do not trust CBI, state police, or FBI in the state of Colorado.
Bottoms wouldn't agree to answer questions and repeated requests for a scheduled interview.
Unscheduled interview time.
So we showed up at the state capitol.
Representative Bottoms, how are you? Kyle Clark, 9 News. You are alleging that there are pedophiles buying and selling children for sex, elected officials in this building who are pedophiles.
Yes.
And you have said that you will reveal this information if Colorado elects you governor. If you're trying to protect kids, you actually did. We'll play it here.
We are going to drop the boom the moment that I'm governor. We've actually been talking about maybe doing it before, but the moment I'm governor, we're going to shut down the pedophile rings that are in the House, in the Senate, and in the governor's office.
If you're serious about protecting children, why not present that evidence right now to local law enforcement that is ready and willing to take your allegations and investigate them?
There's a major difference between awareness and justice. Justice is not what you do. Justice is what I do. FBI knows about it. FBI will bring it out when it's time. I'm not the one that's going to bring this out. I'm not a federal prosecutor. I'm not a federal law enforcement. And I never said I would do it when I'm governor. Show your fake video.
When I become governor, because I know this information, I'm going to work very strongly with the FBI, and we're going to put people in jail.
What if there's no evidence? What if you just made this whole thing up?
Yes, I made the whole thing up.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, because you're full of crap.
I believe that we have a politician who is recklessly endangering others by making false allegations and accusations that are unfounded, simply to garner attention.
Democratic House Speaker Julie McCluskey says Bottoms' allegations could lead to violence against people at the Capitol.
It puts all of us in danger.
Republican Senator and gubernatorial candidate Barb Kirkmeyer agrees.
I think one of two things. He's either made it up, or two, he's been sitting on his hands for over 3 years while little kids are maybe getting trafficked or raped. That's just disgusting to me.
Have you met anybody in this building who believes that his allegation is credible?
No.
Republicans, Democrats, staff?
No.
Do you think he made it up?
I do. I do. I think he's desperate right now, and he's made it up.
That was Kyle Clark. The FBI, as a matter of practice, doesn't comment on tips or potential investigations. The Colorado State Patrol, Denver Police, and Denver DA's office all tell us they are ready to investigate Bottoms' claims if he has evidence. Well, American military forces have conducted airstrikes on ISIS targets in Syria. U.S. Central Command just made that announcement on Saturday. These newly released pictures showed the devastation of 10 strikes against 30 targets between February 3rd and 12th. CENTCOM, which controls military operations in the Middle East, posted on X, quote, U.S. forces struck ISIS infrastructure and weapons storage targets. According to Central Command, at least 50 members of ISIS have been killed or captured. The U.S. military has conducted another deadly strike on a suspected drug trafficking boat in the Caribbean. U.S. Southern Command says 3 people were killed in the attack Friday. Military officials say intelligence confirmed the boat was sailing known trafficking routes and was operated by designated terrorist organizations. No U.S. personnel were hurt. At least 124 people have been killed in strikes since Operation Southern Spear started last fall. Russian opposition figure and outspoken Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny was reportedly poisoned with the lethal toxin while imprisoned in Siberia. That's according to a joint statement released by 5 European countries, including the United Kingdom, Sweden, France, Germany, and the Netherlands. According to the statement, an analysis of samples taken from Navalny's body confirmed the presence of a toxin found in a South American poison dart frog, which is, of course, not naturally found in Russia. The countries also said Moscow had the means, motive, and opportunity to administer that poison. Russian officials have repeatedly denied being responsible for his death. As the search for the missing 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie now pushes past 2 weeks, the Pima County Sheriff's Department has announced there are no arrests. This comes after Pima County deputies confirm a search warrant was carried out at a home Friday night, and investigators announced they found DNA evidence at her house that does not belong to her or anyone close to her. Authorities say they are trying to recover more footage from the cameras throughout Guthrie's property. Neighbors of the missing 84-year-old say this case has left them shaken.
I personally feel pretty secure and safe right now with all the law enforcement that's been around here, but it kind of shakes you to your core of what can happen again in Tucson, Arizona, in a small, pretty, I don't want to say it's mostly older people neighborhood, but it's mostly an older person's neighborhood. And it really shakes you.
Now, neighbors have put out yellow ribbons, signs, and flowers around her property, hoping she can be returned home.